Hello everybody, this is my 2023 Honda Grom, and I'm going to be going over my 1-year review and all the modifications that I've done to it so far. So one of the first modifications that I've done to this Grom was put on this Kemimoto exhaust from Amazon. It was about $70, and I'm very happy with it. It still has the baffle in it, unlike a bunch of my buddies who took the baffles out. I just think it's a little bit too loud for my taste, so I left it in. My only review on this exhaust is that the rubber grommet that goes in here to keep this from doing all this didn't fit, so I couldn't put it in there. And then the springs did not fit, so I just fixed it up with some metal zip ties. I had to move under the porch because it started raining, but the next modification that I did was this Kemimoto 2.5-inch drop for the rear of the bike. Now this install took me about 10 minutes to do. It was just unbolting the other bolt. I think there's just one bolt that sat right here before, and then you add this piece in and put 3 more bolts through it, and there's a little spacer in here. Couldn't be happier with the way that it sits. With that modification, I also came up and lowered the forks. I lowered these 3/4 of an inch. I slid these up after loosening these 3 bolts on each side, and then slid the fork up, and that gave me a drop in the front. I think it sits pretty sporty looking. It's a little bit lower than stock. So staying with the rear of the bike, the next thing I did was the fender eliminator kit. And everybody that has one of these knows that the fenders come out to right here, and there's like a fender on the back. This fender eliminator kit takes that whole shark tail away, and this only cost me about $20 to do from Amazon, and you can see this thing got bent. After lowering the bike and putting this on, the plate would sit about like right here, and then with me sitting on it, the plate would sit like right here. So there was like about an inch or so of clearance from the tire to the bottom of the plate. So the first bump and everything that I've hit so far, it just bent the plate all the way up. You could see like the silver under there where my tire rubs on it sometimes. But it ended up bending the plate, and it actually kind of looks cool just like that. You don't see any of the yellow on the PA plate. So I just left it the way it was. I never got a new plate or anything, just kept it how it was. So the next modification I did after doing the exhaust, the drop in the rear, and the fender eliminator kit, I ended up painting my rear set here anodized red, and I got that paint from AutoZone. I ended up painting all these too. So these were like a lime green and yellow before, so I painted them red just kind of to customize the bike, I guess, and make it more mine, rather than looking like every other Grom that's got the yellow on it. So I took all those off. That took about like a day to do, I would say, and it's not perfect. You can see like the top here is kind of yellow still. Back here is kind of yellow, but like from the side, you really can't see it, so I don't really care. And plus, nobody's really coming up close on my bike. Everybody's more or less just sees it driving down the road. So probably the biggest and the hardest modification to do on this bike for me was the handlebars. I put on XR50 handlebars. I've got a YouTube video on how I did it. In case anybody has any like questions, I literally did like the step-by-step on what I was doing. But they turned out pretty good. I had to do some modifications to the throttle to get it to work. But otherwise, the bars are nice. They're about the same height as the stock ones, maybe a little bit taller. So I wanted to be able to like sit up on the bike a little bit more than be hunched over, because I've got a slip disc in the middle of my back, so it kind of hurts to ride this thing hunched over. So that was my idea with the XR50 bars. I'd like to do some ape hangers one day. I think that'd kind of be sick. There's one Grom on the internet that I've seen that has the ape hangers, and it kind of looks tough. So I'd like to do that, but you need all extended cables and stuff, and I just don't know how to do that, so I have not done that yet. Leading up from the handlebars, I actually just installed these yesterday. It's the clutch and brake levers. My buddy Schaefer gave them to me. He had these as backups, and his bike's all blue. You've seen it in other videos in my YouTube shorts. These levers didn't match his bike, so he gave them to me. The red on here really doesn't match my bike, but it's like close enough for government work. Over here you can see all the anodized red, and this is more of like a anodized like pink almost. It's red, but it's got like a pinkish hue to it, but in passing and just walking by the bike, it all looks like it flows together well. These levers, you can adjust the, like, I guess you get the throw on them. So mine's on 6, just because when I hold these, they were like really close to my knuckles. So yesterday, like, I had it on 1, and I could barely get my knuckles over. You could kind of see here. See how it's like touching my knuckles? But when you put it on 6 or 5, you know what I mean? It's way further away from my knuckles. So keeping up with the flow of the handlebars and the levers that I've installed, I put on these Honda grips. I just thought they were pretty cool. There's some $12 Amazon specials, and they say Honda on them. Some of them are upside down, like you can see right there, which is kind of annoying, but they look good. I think they flow with the bike. They're red, but they are like a really smooth, rubbery feeling to them. It's not like a nice grip, even though it has these like weird knurlings on them. Your hands will like get wet and like kind of slip off of them, which I don't really like the feeling of, but they are a nice little touch to add to the bike to keep the red flowing throughout the whole thing. All right, everybody, finishing up this video here with my 1 year review of the Grom. I just went through and listed all the modifications that I have done to it. And I'm just gonna, like I said, finish off with the 1 year review. So for 1 year, this bike's never let me down, except the other day when the battery randomly died at a red light and I had to push it up a hill. But that's all solved. I got a new battery for it. Otherwise, it's never left me stranded. Starts up all the time, starts up in the rain, runs in the rain fine. Not that I ride it too much in the rain, but it's been about a handful of times. I've never had to do any sort of maintenance to the tires or anything. It hasn't had a new set of tires on it yet. They still have tread on the front. The rear one's kind of getting low right in the middle, but it's still got some life in it, so I'm going to keep running it until I think that I need a new one. And I might get some like on-road, off-road tires for it. I'm not sure yet. The other things that I've had to do to this bike, obviously within 1 year, or a few oil changes. Right now I'm at like 3,500 miles on it. Yep, 3,508. So I did an oil change about 100 miles early, which obviously is not a problem. I change the oil filter every 2 oil changes, so the next oil change that I do in like 1,600 miles or something, or 1,000 miles whenever I do it, it will get a filter. Now, I wouldn't change anything about this bike. I like everything about it. I think it's slick looking. I think it's, no offense to Shafe, but I think it's a lot better looking than the older Groms. I like that this one has a 5th gear. Gets me around, no problem. I've never had any issues on the road, you know, with people tailgating me or anything like that. I think it maintains speed fine on, you know, small town roads. Like our Route 19 here is just like a 2-lane highway. Speed limit's like 45, and this thing easily does 55, 60 with me on it. I'm 155 pounds, 5'9", so I can maintain speed with traffic with no issues. I definitely wouldn't ride this on a major highway, though I have done it late at night when nobody's on the highway. Out there, I was able to get 78 was my fastest, and that was downhill, crouched, and that was kind of scary on this little thing with these small tires. But it is doable, not all the time though, in case you want to blow this thing up. So I've never had any issues with it. I've never had to change any bulbs, never had to change any tires. The only thing that I've had to do was change the oil and tighten the chain if I noticed that it was sloppy. 10 out of 10, I would buy this bike again over and over. Though my next bike will probably be some sort of, I don't know, street glide or something like that, just some sort of cruiser. Would be what I'm looking for. That's more my style. After riding this, I was never really interested in like crotch rocket style bikes, and this kind of is sort of the crotch rocket style. I mean, you're kind of hunched over riding this thing. I know I get the idea that it's not as fast. You're not hunched over and leaning your sternum on the gas tank or anything like that, but it's got the same idea as it. But I'm more of like a cruising type of person. Like I said previously, I would like to put some sort of ape hangers on this thing, maybe get the bars like up to here, would be like a perfect height for me. I like more of a lean back ride. I'm more of a cruiser type of person. I'm not really into speed or anything. That would be the only things that I would change about the bike. I know you can get a tune, a cam, an intake for these bikes, and it would pep it up a little bit, which I would be interested in doing. And I know that's a few bucks, but it's summer right now, and I don't feel like having the bike down more than, you know, a day or two. So I don't really want to take the ECU out of it, send it down to Florida, and then have to wait a little bit to get it back. Maybe during the winter I'll do that if I plan to keep this bike longer. Maybe I'll just keep this bike forever and get another bike after I pay it off. I'm not sure what I want to do yet. But right now, I'm content with it. It's a fun little bike. I would like to do the mirrors, is one thing that I would like to do, is change the mirrors on it. I don't know if I want to get square mirrors. The side handlebar mirrors seem to rattle a lot. I'm not really into that. But these mirrors really don't bother me. I could see a lot out of them. It's not like, I don't know, a lot of people say they're looking at their shoulders and stuff like that. I don't have that issue. I could see headlights behind me. I could see people behind me. I don't know. I've never had that problem, but I'm not a wide guy, so that's it. That's my 1 year review and my modification updates to my 2023 Honda Grom. It's got 3,508 miles on it and many more to go. This thing will be for sale on Cars and Bids. I'm kidding. Thanks for watching.